and I'll also make a video on how McLaren can manage this situation like this, because they did a good job. It is better they're able to swap the drivers back, give Oscar Piastri the necessary confidence he needed in the team. He needs this win to have confidence and for them to be able to prove that yes, they are right in the competition, and also, which is more important, in future when they have opportunity with Lando Norris, they can easily beg Oscar Piastri and it will be easier for him to say, yeah, it's a team game. Lando, you have the chance to win this championship, win, and we win Constructors Championship, which is a win-win for us. And in the future, they can reciprocate this same thing. I think is the best thing that McLaren were able to manage today, and they managed so very well, and I am happy for them. But they need to give clear and strong instructions in future to their drivers as regards the way they want the race to be, not when you feel like or how you feel like. Lando Norris, we want you to allow Oscar Piastri to overtake you back for the position, and also do not fight him. I think that is the strong information they need to give to these drivers, because it is very important. They want the team to succeed. Drivers will always be drivers. No driver wants to be leading to give somebody else the position, not at all. That is not the race life of a driver, but they need to give strong instructions, and that is how they can manage these guys when they know that there's always a wand and there's a stick and there's always a carrot. I think that is it. And great job by Oscar Piastri to quickly take away his cup before Lando Norris could smash it again. What a good thing. Welcome to today's analysis video for the Hungaroring Grand Prix. I told you it's going to be a smash hit. It's going to be a big Grand Prix, and it's going to be a massive one, which it was, and it never disappointed. I'm telling you, from the beginning of the 70 laps Grand Prix to the end, it was action all the way. But I'm going to talk about the four main drivers in this whole race, and also I'm going to talk about some other drivers that did so well. What a great race. What a championship. What a race in Hungary. I'm telling you, Hungaroring this year had proven that it is a race to watch out for. And I told you yesterday, I know most of you won't believe me, but certainly it was that race. It was and that was it. So let's quickly dive down into it. What a win for Oscar Piastri. It has been coming, but it came finally. Oscar Piastri, a Grand Prix winner. What a run for Lewis Hamilton. He's back with his confidence. He was able to race cleanly, greatly, all through the race, and get on his 200th podium in F1. That is the most podiums in F1 today. 200 podiums. Wow. I think Max Verstappen has an opportunity of getting close and might even get over him, because Max Verstappen is still young, and he still has a lot of years ahead of him, except he decides to retire anytime from now or in 2-3 years time. But he could still get ahead of Lewis Hamilton. But for now, what a victory, what a podium win for Lewis Hamilton to get on his 200th podium in Formula 1. And we can see great driver, and he has always proven that he's one of the greatest. To me and to a lot of people, he's the greatest of all. Max Verstappen is also a very, very great driver, and we have Michael Schumacher, we have Ayrton Senna, we have loads of drivers doing it out there, and we have young drivers coming up like Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, Charles Leclerc, doing great job out there. But today, it goes to Oscar Piastri. How did it go out? Now, from beginning of the race, we have a McLaren 1-2 starting and a charging bull right behind them, who is Max Verstappen, trying to take over from turn 1. But they were able to shield him out. And unfortunately, one way or the other, Lando Norris ran him off, because he was also trying to protect himself and his car from his teammate that had the racing line on the inside. So Max Verstappen was run off the track. Meanwhile, Oscar Piastri took it on into the lead on turn 1 from his teammate Lando Norris, Lando Alonso, and was running P7. But as the race went on, the Red Bull knew they had to give the place back to Lando Norris after a lot of complaint. But like we all know, Max Verstappen is so intelligent. He tried giving the place back where he knew he would be able to overtake. But unfortunately, the McLarens were so fast today. The McLarens are showing us they are a benchmark. They are a force. They are right in there to get in the competition and tell everybody, yes, we are here. Oh my God, what a race. But giving the place back, Oscar Piastri in front kept on dashing out, taking out, putting in great laps and pushing some seconds, and giving the 310,000 fans that came to watch the race something to think about. A lot of Dutch Army, Orange Army right in the crowd, looking at their man Max Verstappen running in third under pressure from Lewis Hamilton. But the Mercedes were smart enough. They were fast, they were intelligent, because we all know, like I've said and always said since the beginning of the season, even towards the end of last season, that if Red Bull are being put under pressure, they are going to melt, they are going to fall, they are going to make mistakes. Even their drivers will make terrible mistakes, and that happened immediately. The Mercedes were able to think fast and know that undercut in Hungaroring is fast, is smooth, is intelligent, is the best way to go. They undercut Max Verstappen with Lewis Hamilton undercutting him from his medium tire to hard tires. Meanwhile, like I said yesterday, the Mercedes are having 2 extra new hard tires that they didn't use at all. And remember, they are still on heavy fuel. With that medium lasting 16 laps on Lewis Hamilton's car, they had to change to the hard tires. And remember, they have to use at least 2 tires, 2 different compounds of tires in a race. Undercutting Max Verstappen was the best thing Mercedes could do. They did it fine, purely and greatly. And by the time Max Verstappen knew why and how they undercut him, it was too late. The team were too late to react. So they were like, oh, we give you more time so that you can be on fresher tires because we have a good car. Yes, they had a good car, a very good car that is very fast in DRS, but not as fast as the McLaren and as the Mercedes on the high-speed corner, nor the low-speed corner. But it shows after the undercut, Lewis Hamilton was leading Max Verstappen and was comfortably in 3rd position. None of them were unable to challenge the McLaren. Lewis Hamilton thought he could have challenged the McLaren if he had stayed out a little longer, like lap 20, 25, before he changed to their tire, then go back out, change again to their tire so that he can have better tires to challenge the McLaren. But the team knew that the McLaren are not their game. They are not in the same league. The Mercedes engine inside the McLaren is fast, very fast, and very, very fast, that the Mercedes themselves know that they cannot challenge. The only thing that they knew can challenge them was Max Verstappen. Yes, Max Verstappen is the team, not Red Bull. Max Verstappen has been driving greatly recently. He's been on the form of his life, except for the team Red Bull. They're in so many mistakes because they are under pressure recently, and that pressure has really pushed them and has not made them, but it has broken them, and it is shattering the team Red Bull as a whole. So McLaren knew the only problem they have now is the Red Bull, because if the Red Bull can overtake Lewis Hamilton, yes, they are in soup. As a good tire whisperer that Lewis Hamilton is, also the Red Bull being able to manage tires very well is going to be a problem for McLaren. So the team Mercedes focused on their fight because they know the only fight they can have is Max Verstappen. Why is everybody afraid of Max Verstappen? Because he's driving fine, he's driving cool, he's driving his best drive of his time recently, and he's doing a very, very good job. All being said, they were able to undercut the Red Bull, and that was it. And the race was on, and we saw a lot of battles in there between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen towards the end of the tire life of the hard tire on Lewis Hamilton's car, and the same tire on Max Verstappen's car, who has a 5-lap younger tire than Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton was able to manage him, manage the pace, manage the race, look at it like, yes, I can do this. But on lap 39, moving to 40, Lewis Hamilton changed his tire. Now the race started, because at first Max Verstappen tried to overtake Lewis Hamilton, but Lewis Hamilton played fast and was intelligent because he knows how to place his car on that track. Hungaroring is a track that he loves so much, so he knows where to place his car and cause issues for any driver behind him. He placed his car so well that Max Verstappen ran in his dirty hair and Max Verstappen tire was sliding. So by the time Max Verstappen overtook him going into turn 3, Max Verstappen lost it and he ran out into the other side of the track, which has a little bit of dirt and gravel. Coming back, Lewis Hamilton was swimming ahead of him again like, oh my brother, you need to get some experience. And that was how Lewis Hamilton overtook him back and maintained a 1-second gap ahead of him before he pitted and undercut him again, which was a shock to Max Verstappen. How is this guy doing it? He has undercut me again. And the team were like, calm down, bro. We will get this back. They had a plan. They know if they can run into the late 40 laps to early 50 laps, they can run on the medium tires that will serve them till the end of the race and can overtake the 9 laps earlier tire that Lewis Hamilton had placed on his tire. But little did they know that Lewis Hamilton too is smart. He knows that Charles Leclerc is right behind him. The best thing he can do in that race is to keep Charles Leclerc behind him, so that when Max Verstappen is about coming to overtake him, he would have fought a battle and lost tire with Charles Leclerc. Then he will try and take advantage of him and see what he can do. And if there's nothing he can do, well, he would rather lose the race fighting valiantly than not giving a fight at all. And that happened by the time Max Verstappen changed his tire. It was game on. Charles Leclerc did a pretty good job, fought well with Max Verstappen, but we can see all through from the beginning of the race, from lap 4, that Max Verstappen had been told to give the place back to Lando Norris. He has been driving angry. He has not been happy with the car. He has been driving unhealthy. He himself, his head has not been in one place. He fought with Charles Leclerc, able to overtake Charles Leclerc, now running against Lewis Hamilton in the early lap 60s. Lewis Hamilton knew that the race was not done. All he had to do is to maintain track position and give a good drive, which he did. But a frustrated Max Verstappen, trying to overtake Lewis Hamilton on lap 64, braked late, locked up his tire and ran wide. Running wide, he ran into Lewis Hamilton, which cost him and Lewis Hamilton a little accident in which he lost. He ran into the gravel area, and coming back, he has lost position 1 to Charles Leclerc, taking him from chasing for 3rd position back to 5th position, now under pressure by Carlos Sainz. But Carlos Sainz was unable to overtake him, though Max Verstappen had been offset by the hitting of the car on the ground and the imbalance it could have cost him and the G-force that could have sunk into his body. But unfortunately, he got it right later and was able to maintain the speed. But I believe he will be able to get 5 seconds or 10 seconds penalty from the stewards because it caused a collision. Although a lot of people tried playing it down that it was a racing incident, but that does not look like a racing incident. Max Verstappen himself knows. The team knows that that was not a racing incident. He was under pressure, he was angry, he was driving not so intelligently at that point, and he ran into another driver, which is causing a collision for another driver. And I hope the stewards sees that well, because if they see that well, that would demote him again from 5th position to 6th position, which makes the 2 Ferraris go ahead of him in the race, which is not good for Red Bull. But I think from this on, Red Bull will be able to look at themselves and look at the upgrades they brought, in which I think the upgrades work well, but they didn't manage the pace and the race very well. The upgrades that Max Verstappen used all through this weekend worked well, worked better than the Carlos Sainz upgrade in race pace and in qualifying pace. And that was the race. Oscar Piastri won the race with a beautiful run, though the McLaren took the place from him by undercutting him with his teammate Lando Norris. But they were told to give the place back, in which I will analyze in another video for you to understand why they did that. And I think that was a good move for them because of the future, because this is like a new team, though an old team, but a new formation of old and new guys to form a great team and to bring a bond that will make them succeed in future. So Oscar Piastri won the race, Lando Norris coming 2nd, and Lewis Hamilton holding on to the 3rd position, Charles Leclerc 4th position, tentatively for now Max Verstappen 5th, Carlos Sainz 6th, Perez 7th, George Russell 8th, Yuki Tsunoda 9th, Lance Stroll 10th. What a race for Sergio Perez. After the criticism of yesterday, coming from 17th position to come 7th, wow, great race for him. At the beginning of the race, he made a mistake and was running 19th, but came back strong and got to a position in which was possible for him. That was a 7th position, which is great for him. And George Russell, great race for him, good one for him. He ended the race 8th position. Yuki Tsunoda, oh, this young Japanese, the stylish Japanese, gave a good drive today and he came 9th in the race. Lance Stroll, after a lot of criticism at the beginning of the season, is outshining, outshoning, outbeating, and out there doing a great job against his teammate Fernando Alonso, coming 10th, Alonso coming 11th. Hulkenberg drove a great race for himself today. Daniel Ricciardo drove a great race, but they cannot compete with the hands that the Mercedes and the Red Bull has in where they qualified. Great race for them. Daniel Ricciardo coming 12th. Nico Hulkenberg, wow, the Nico man that everybody wants to see race against Max Verstappen in Red Bull, which I know would not happen. And I'm sure that with the situation of things and what we can see, Red Bull will not allow or will never sign a Nico Hulkenberg to race against Max Verstappen, because Max Verstappen will not allow it. Yes, I can tell you won't allow it. Alex Albon, great race, great qualifying. Kevin Magnussen, great race. A lot of drivers are under serious scrutiny, but they are delivering. Valtteri Bottas, good one. Pierre Gasly, after another engine change, was unable to do much racing, or should I say start the race in Silverstone. Now in Hungary, had to stop or end this race and ended in a DNF due to hydraulic leak. What is wrong with the Alpine again? Alpine are already getting their nose in front, getting better, being a number 5 team to contend with. But now they are regressing. They look like a number 10 team to look at from the videos. Yeah, because Ocon ended his race in 18th position while Pierre Gasly did not finish his race. A lot from Sauber this weekend, bringing a lot of upgrades, but the upgrades still put them in 19th position and 16th position. Are their upgrades working? They need to go and reflect on that themselves. Bad one for Sauber, because with the upgrades they've brought, it should push them ahead a little. It should give them some great traction, but that does not seem to be what we see. Red Bull, and I think this circuit will work for the all-rounded car in which the McLaren had brought this season. That is giving everybody a head turn to look at that. How have they done this? Yes, up until the next video, the next podcast, you cannot afford to miss it, because I'm going to give a lot of analysis on Red Bull and on McLaren, on what they should do, on how they should run their race. This is wonderful. This is wonderful racing. Catch ya next time. I love you guys. Bye.